Hi everyone. So today I'll be talking about skin, baby skin to be specific. Baby skin is really sensitive and really fragile, and I find that the environment, especially the water, especially here in London, can be really harsh on the baby skin. So it is quite important of how we treat the skin, what kind of products we use on it, and whether we expose them to more harsh chemicals or soothe and minimize the results of using kind of the everyday like water and washing liquids, powders, pollution outside and all that stuff. So for example, from my own experience, Oli has eczema. Not a surprise, I've had it until adulthood. I still sometimes have it. For me, it kind of comes and goes, but until I was 17, it was pretty severe and was all over my body. So, it didn't surprise me that it appeared for him as well. For Oli, it kind of comes and goes. I find it's at its worst when it's really hot, especially in the kind of creases of his arms and on his cheeks. There it tends to get worse when he's salivating a lot. So when he's kind of got the ways of teasing, because it kind of comes and goes as well, then it tends to get a bit worse from the saliva. No matter how often I clean it and keep him dry and put creams on it, moisturize it. It gets a bit red, but when it's hot outside, it tends to get worse, and then usually just after a bath, obviously with the temperature of the bath because it's warm, but also I think it's the water. So what I started to do is put like a stocking filled with oatmeal on a tap, so as the water runs, it kind of runs through the oatmeal and dissolving it in the water, and it does make the water a little bit smoother. It's like putting Aveeno in a bath, which is oatmeal based, but it's completely natural. There's no chemicals. And I also read labels very carefully. I try to avoid SLS. I try to avoid parabens. I try to avoid any harsh chemicals, alcohol, petroleum and all that kind of stuff, which can be quite harsh on a sensitive skin, especially if there's eczema already present. So I do read the labels, and for him I do buy kind of organic stuff wherever I can, and the less ingredients the better. When it comes to the body cream, I actually make my own. I use it on myself as well, because I found that it's the only thing that never aggravated my eczema. I use combination of coconut oil, aloe vera gel, and some other liquid oils like jojoba and rosehip, evening primrose oil. So these are quite mild, and it doesn't aggravate the skin, but some children can have slight sensitivity to either aloe vera or coconut oil. So if that happens, apricot kernel oil is really mild oil with no contradictions whatsoever. Like, you can use it on any type of skin with any conditions, and it's really mild and really gentle. So that's a good oil if you kind of run out of options and want something pure. I'm trained aromatherapist, so I'm just using the knowledge that I've accumulated through my studies and my practice. But of course, there are so many different options of going naturally, and it's just a lot about trial and error, within reason, experimenting on your own baby. So, read labels, do your research, read about contraindications. That means how it can affect the body negatively. Look if sometimes combining different ingredients can make the result actually worse. So, you know, if you make it kind of homemade remedies, make sure you do your research and you know what you're doing. Yeah, baby, it's okay. And maybe try not to bath in every day. That's what we're doing at the moment. We kind of bath every other day to avoid, you know, too much exposure to water, and just do some top and tailing. I mean, you know, he's not eating, he's not crawling, so there's not much dirt on him. Yeah, just I also use Lancinol, you know, the nipple cream on his face, because it really because obviously it's safe for him to lick. It's so good. So when you put it on the face, it doesn't matter if he touches it or if it goes into his mouth. And it's really good for like when the skin starts cracking a bit, and protect it from too much saliva as well, because it blocks it. And the yellow metanium, it's like the nappy rash cream, is really good if they're like, you know, sometimes in the crevices, either around the arms or legs or neck, especially neck, because it gets sometimes wet from the saliva or spit ups and stuff. It can get a bit red, kind of sore. So I find the metanium is really, really good for it, and it heals it really quickly, literally in hours. The redness disappears. So and it's quite protective as well. So that's what I do. You know, I experiment myself and try to keep him healthy and happy. But obviously, you know, the well-being of a child is number one. So if there is temperature with any rash, you know, or it's kind of oozing something, it's all over the body, it's particularly red and hot, cracking, open skin, anything just doesn't look like just a bit of eczema, you know, you should go and see a doctor, or at least a health visitor, and have it checked out, because it could be something a little bit more serious. And you know, it's all good to go in all natural, but sometimes that's not enough. I'm not massive fan of corticoid creams and stuff, but I, you know, do whatever I can to avoid using it on my baby, because it's been used on me and I didn't respond to them very well. But if it was necessary and my baby was in so much pain and discomfort that, you know, nothing else would help, and of course I would choose it, you know, like whatever helps. Also, you know, I think sometimes if it's not too bad, if it's quite mild, and Ollie's version is pretty mild, it doesn't seem to affect him at all. Sometimes just waiting it out, you know, keeping it as, you know, doing whatever you can to obviously alleviate the symptoms, but sometimes just waiting it out until the digestive system matures, because it's pretty connected to the skin. So often when the digestive system matures, the skin clears by itself. I'm planning to give him some probiotics as well when he starts eating. At the moment I'm taking them, so he still gets some from me. But that often helps as well. It helps with the skin, kind of clear it out. So yeah, well, I'll keep you updated how things are going. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. But I'd say if it's mild, go as natural as you can. If it's really bad and serious and your baby's in pain or discomfort, consult a health practitioner to see what your options are. You know, also homeopathy, acupuncture, they're really good ways of helping with eczema or some mild skin conditions. So it's also an option if you want to go natural and can afford it. Alright, so it's me on baby skin, and speak to you soon.